Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Best Card Breaks. This is Nick, and we are live with our next rip of 2025 Bowman featuring a $6,000 Superfractor Bounty, friends. How are we doing tonight, everyone? Let me know who's hanging out. Say hello in the chat. If you're joining us, I'm finally ready to put this bounty to rest. $6,000. We had a pretty weak first half of this case. This is the second half. And let's see if we can make some magic happen and make somebody $6,000 in break credit richer. I'm ready. Hope you guys are. It just has continued to grow and grow, and we have yet to get that super from 25 Bowman. Let's rock. It's going to happen. There's Mr. Blocker. What's up? I don't ever think I've seen you chat before. What's going on? Blocker wants the bounty. Let's go. Everybody wants that bounty. Somebody's going to get it eventually. I mean, it's going to happen. That is just a cold hard fact. Who is it going to be? Question mark. If we don't hit it here, that means it'll be $6,050 in our Bowman Mega Random. Again, that's only 60 bucks a spot, so kind of a cheaper shot. Everyone's on the same playing field. Aiden Smith to 125 in terms of, price. What they spent there. Ben Rice, red rookie. First auto, nice. One you don't see very often. Jonah Tong for the Mets. First time watching live. Are you kidding me, Nathan? Mets ignited. Nice hit. This one's going in a big stand because this dude is on fire. One of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball right now. Yeah, I was watching the Home Run Derby, and O'Neal Cruz made me very mad. So I took Cruz to win it, and he choked that second round. So I'm mad, and I turned it off. Like, Raleigh squeaked in by 1/10 of a foot. Basically an inch longer. Like, the fact they can measure that to that 0.5 versus 0.6. A 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. Well, shoot, you just got to put him to bed. Out of 125, that's a nice one there. James Wood, Greatness Loading, Nats, Charty. Nice hit. Yeah, come to the ones that start after bedtime, right? Blue ink. True blue for that matter. Brody Hopkins for the Rays. Out to Jeff 1981. There you go, Jeff. Yeah, I that's why I was running a little behind too. I had it scheduled for 10:15. I wanted to get through that second round. So I finished Cruz. Well, I finished the time before he went to the bonus. Like, all right, that's made me angry. Dream feed, staying in play. Home Run Derby, the only reason. So you're live because of the Derby. All right, we'll take it. Seaver King to 199. Purple Max Clark, paper to 250. Caden Dana, red rookie. Made base. And Speckle Ink to 100. George Klassen. Angels getting waxed. Mr. Smith. Mr. Anderson. There you go, Ryan. Is that 3? No, oh, Jonah was base. Okay, I was almost say 3 numbered cards. That's pretty rare. All right, there is box 1 of 4. Blue Jay Superfan. That was the cheapest one. You know, and that's not a bad, like, not a bad idea, right? Especially, you know, when the bounty is this high, even if you don't care about Bowman, just grab a cheapie, you know? It's kind of at that point, it's just a really cheap shot at a potential $6,000 payout. So, and, you know, still a chance at pulling some nice cards, too. Now, you can just sell them if you don't care about them, right? That's what I like about the Mega case. So, a 101 Rose Gold from the Mega Box does count as a bounty hit. So, that is, you know, also a cheaper option at $60 a spot. And there's only 25 spots in that break. So, it kind of helps a little bit. So all the cards on your eBay store. There you go. Yep, definitely. And you know, we talked a lot about people with that in the shop. You know, we always recommend selling. You know, especially if you know you don't care about it. That's a nice one. How about Ohtani's Showtime Showcase to 150 for the Dodgers? You know, it's an expensive hobby. It's just what it's become. You know, whether you like it or not, it's how it is, and it's never a bad idea to recoup some costs. You know, and that's the beauty of breaks, right? In this expensive hobby world, breaks really have become king. In terms of you know, if you're got an out of 299 Condon for the Rockies, Daniel Eisner staying hot. Jeez, dude. Eisner is on fire right now. Absolutely killing these breaks. Condon to 299. Big congrats. At this point, it's just going to happen. Eisner, you're jumping in. You're going to get a big one. My word. But, you know, and that's the beauty of breaks. Quinn Matthews on the Reptilian is, if you're a Cubs fan, just buy the Cubs. And it's cheap. It's way cheaper than buying a hobby box. And if you really don't care about any of the other cards from those or the product and whatever, and you don't want to spend 200 plus on a single hobby box, and you just want you know, Shota Imanaga auto, just buy the Cubs. It's a great way to do that. Fabian Lopez to 199. And Jack Lyons Rays. So what you don't want, exactly. That's like I said, what we tell people, like, if you do buy a hobby box, maybe you're buying it to chase the big hit, right? Nothing wrong with that. Or you just want to collect everything, whatever the reason is, right? And you know, let's say you buy 3 or 4 hobby boxes and you get a duplicate auto, sell one. You know, it's, or you don't care about, you know, Fabian Lopez, sell it, right? So it's a great way to recoup some of your spend. You know, bring the price of the hobby down a little bit, especially if you get a big hit too. Cam and Idiot to $2.99. We always recommend that. Roki Sasaki. You know, we have guys that come in and they don't sell at all, right? And it's like, I get it. Some people are in, you know, different financial situations. Maybe they don't need to. And it's like, bro, you just have these cards sitting in boxes doing nothing, and you're never going to look at them again. It's like, sell what you don't care about. And Yoferi Rodriguez, Brew Crew there on the base auto for Mr. Sittler. Mr. Sittler and the Brewers. And we use, you know, especially a lot of low-end stuff, right? A lot of those $3 to $15 cards. That there's a lot of them out there, and people just have them in boxes. Elvin Garcia, like this, for example, this is probably $4 or $5 if I had to guess. And, you know, somebody might open this in a box and just kind of top load it and toss it in a box, in a card box. So It's just, you know, they don't care about it and who don't know who that guy is kind of thing. So we always recommend selling. You always got the Rockies and Nationals. Oh, yeah. And the Rockies were good with that last year. That was Tovar, right? 2024, which I think was like an absolutely steal of a spot with how good Tovar is, or how good he was in the minors. But that's what we bought, and we use a lot of the low-end stuff. We use Quick Consign in the shop, and we actually send it to Quick Consign for you. We offer the consignment service. All you got to do is bring your cards in, and we send them on your behalf. And that's what we always preach. It's easy, literally. Just bring them in, drop them off, and go home. And then in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you'll have money in your account. You don't even have to do anything anymore, right? If they're just sitting in a box, you don't care about them. You're never going to look at them again. Maybe you don't need the money, but why not? So that's how we, and we've gotten a lot of people to realize that, and especially when you're spending a lot of money on the hobby, it's an expensive hobby, and it's a good idea to recoup some of that cost. So Jordan Beck, nice. So who would the Nationals chase be in 24? Because they really didn't have much, right? All the rookies were pretty bad. I mean, Soto was gone. So what do you get with the Nationals in 2024? Like, what could you possibly get to pay for your spot outside of maybe a Vlad Sr. or another Expos auto, right? Jack Penny to $4.99. Schwellenbach red, and Franierber Montilla Tigers. Tigers over to Jeff Renshaw. Abrams for 24? That's not, he wasn't a rookie, right? So that would be like a Abrams second year, because he was a Padres rookie, right? Padres rookie in 23. Jose Perdomo. So that you're just hoping to hit a good color or potential auto of him then. And it was so cheap anyway. Yeah, player breaks can be great on eBay, especially for some of the low-level guys. They're really cheap. The guys that do go cheap and you spike out of 25 or a low number auto or something. There's a lot of ways to find good value in the hobby still, and in breaks. Rafael Flores, Yankees. The Mets in this product, for example. Jonah Tong has been hard to pull, right? That base auto has probably got to be over $50 now. You get a base auto. The Mets should be more expensive. That's just how it is. But they just wouldn't sell. And which is crazy, because I think it's just with the Jonah Tong stuff is hard to hit. And just the fact that you can hit a base auto and almost pay for your spot is wild. So, autos and relics. Luis Mirejo to $199. Chase Mobley to $4.99. And I mean, the Mets with the potential value, and the Tigers too, with McGonigal playing great, the Tigers should probably have a price adjustment a little higher. The Mets should definitely be higher. The Mets, I can't believe, aren't first off the board in every single Bowman break right now. It's just how good Jonah Tong is and how great he's playing. True Blue Ink, Corey Lewis, Twins to $150. Closer, Mojo for getting waxed. Corey Lewis. Yeah, Rays, definitely with how good Caminero was, and I just don't think he really lived up to it, at least last year. And even this year, the Rays are not, they're only, what do I have them at? $95 in inception. And that's a great deal. That is such a good price for how good Caminero is. And here he might win the Derby. Who's as the finals going on right now? Someone's going to have to update me on who wins. Raleigh squeaks in, and then crushes 19 of them in round 2. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, the Rays price for junior chasing, great idea there. Because it wasn't, you know, when you got the Orioles, the Rays, later in the year, the Pirates, you know, the Rangers, and then the Rays were cheaper than all of them, you know, so, and Camaro's great. Last box, here we go, number 4. Put up 18, my word. Man, that dude is, that's such a crazy story, Cal Raleigh. Like, who'd have thought Cal Raleigh leading the league in home runs? I mean, that was not on my bingo card. Pretty insane. All right, let's find one more big one here in the last box. Potentially that $6,000 Superfractor. Let's go. Relvis and Luis Morejo on the base ink Guardians. Out to Jeff, 1981. Fabian Reptilian. Anderson Brito to $3.99. Is there no? Oh, I thought this is where the auto would be. All right, maybe not. Maybe down here. All right, to $2.99, Franierber Montilla. Second auto of this man for Mr. Renshaw and the Tigers to $2.99 this time. I've got to put that up. One more auto. Luke Sinnard out of 125, Aqua Shimmer. And D'Angelo Ortiz to $3.99. Sugano. Bazana's bases loaded to 150. Actually got quite a few of these inserts out of 150, and it's going to be Winston Santos to close it out. Overall, not a very strong jumbo case. Condon great, Joan Tong solid. Santos and the Rangers, Jeff Renshaw to $4.99. But kind of not a whole lot else on the auto front. So that means, my friends, the Superfractor bounty, $6,050 for that Bowman Mega case. Only 60 bucks a spot. I believe there's 22 spots left over there. Catch one there. Low entry price to hit that 101 rose gold there and get that $6,050 super bounty. Otherwise, we'll have some more Bowman tomorrow as well. And then wait for our national break. We are going to have our Monster Bowman National Mixer as we do every year. Huge break, lots of cards. Went to All-Star Weekend in 22. Work sent you? That's cool. Yeah, I went in 2015, Cincinnati, and Todd Frazier won in his hometown. That was pretty awesome to be at. When the hometown guy wins, absolutely amazing. We got Sasaki Red Rookie, D'Angelo Ortiz to $3.99, Clark to $2.50, Sinnard to $1.25, Bazana to $1.50, Luis Morejo to $1.99, Elvin Garcia $1.25, Fabian Lopez to $1.99, Seaver King to 199 and Aiden Smith to 125. And our autographs, base ink, Luis Morejo, Flores, Franierber, Joffrey Rodriguez, Jack Lines, and then Santos to 499, Corey Lewis to 150, True Blue. Onto the showcase, a pair of, let's see, this one's actually mini diamonds out of 100. George Klassen out to the Angels, and Franierber Montilla to 299 for the Tigers. How about Ohtani? Nice Ohtani's Showtime Showcase to 150. Solid one for the Dodgers. Brody Hopkins to 150 for the Rays. Greatness Loading rookie James Wood to 125 Nationals. And a couple of big ones here. Jonah Tong on the base ink, believe it or not, is a pretty big hit. Oh, T-Mobile Business. Gotcha. And then out of 299, Charlie Condon to the Rockies, the man on fire. Daniel Eisner. Nice hit there, my friend. And there we go. That's going to do it, friends, for break number 81 of 25 Bowman. Go check out the mega case. Fill that one up. Grab your spots there. Only 60 bucks chasing that giant bounty again. Appreciate everyone hanging out and joining me tonight. As always, have yourselves a great rest of your night. We'll see you soon, and take care.